Hello Jazzy, today is Saturday. I am making this video literally 5 minutes after you texted me and tell me to take a walk because I've been procrastinating so bad today. And lo and behold, I always listen to you, my friend. So here I am taking a walk in my pajamas. I put like a pair of jeans on, this top, literally straight from bed. Did not bring even a water bottle, silly me. Have my phone, my headphone, my body, and hopefully in the next 10 minutes my mind. I'm gonna do one of those John Green's weather report. The sky is quite lovely. It is freezing cold, but there is no sign of rain despite the cloudy state of the sky. There was a hail, like a storm yesterday, so there is a chance that as I'm walking it's gonna pour down again and I'm gonna be soaking wet, but let's not jinx ourselves. I just saw a dead bird. I don't know if that's a bad omen or not. My teeth are literally clattering. Is that the right verb? Anyway, no more rambling. This is a determined walk. This is not an aesthetic stroll. I am literally forcing myself out of bed. Oh my god, I just heard myself. I've said literally at least 5 times now. Yeah, I am walking with a purpose, which is not something I usually do. I usually walk aimlessly so I can like daydream. So there's gonna be something to talk about while I go on this walk, and because I am on a determined walk today, I'm gonna talk about my determination this week, which is something that I'm insanely proud of, and I like to remind myself of that determination so that when I get back home I can work on that determination to finish my last essay. So not to bore you, but I had 3 essays due this week. An education essay on Thursday, a history essay on Thursday, and another history essay on Friday. The history essay on Friday, I managed to get an extension until Monday next week. I tackled the education essay first because in my head I was like, I'm doing a Bachelor of Secondary Education with a major in history and business, not a Bachelor of History. So there you go. The education essay was on critical review of racism and whiteness in education, and it's basically looking at how these concepts have intertwined into the education system, how institutionalized racism and systematic racism has affected the educational outcomes of Aboriginal students. And it's a reflection on your position and how it has changed throughout your research, as well as like different not solution but different pedagogy that you would want to adopt and practice in order to resist this narrative of whiteness. And it was a really interesting concept and a really interesting essay when I was writing it, because I had to come to terms with my own whiteness. And I'm not white, as you can see. My heritage is very, very Vietnamese and very Asian. But whiteness is a privilege. It's a privilege of a culture that is practiced without being questioned. And my fortunate reality is that I get to be here in Australia studying, being supported, and there are some covert racism going on against Asian people, but it is a different kind of racism that Aboriginal people have to deal with. So I wrote about that. I smashed through that essay on a Wednesday morning. Then I spent the entirety of the Wednesday afternoon to work on my first history essay, which was for my Nazism course, and I actually spent the entirety of the Thursday as well, so I took a whole day off work just so I can finish it. The question, which you know more about because you helped me choose the questions, the question was, is Nazism the outgrowth of German culture? And this is a funny story because I was on my placement during a class that was really quiet. Everyone was doing what they're supposed to do and I had nothing to do. So I was standing in the middle of the room, scribbling on my little notebook to pretend that I was doing something instead of just standing around chilling. And as I was writing, suddenly the thought on my essay, like the entirety of the planning structure, appeared in my head. I got distracted and I didn't even tell you what my argument for the second essay was. Not that you're interested, but I'm going to tell you anyway. So the question was, is Nazism the outgrowth of German culture? And my argument was, German culture was a huge influence on the rise and consolidation of the Nazi Party's power. But to say that they are the outgrowth of solely German culture would be limited in its scope, because we need to take into account political and economic factors that happened during the interwar, as well as by saying that German Nazism was the outgrowth of traditional Orthodox conservative culture pre-1914 in the 19th century would be to reject the culture of the interwar period, especially the Berlin scene, which was a thriving environment of expressionist art, avant-garde art, and liberal art. So I don't know if it makes sense to you, but it made super sense in my head. And I spent that entire 1 hour scribbling on my little black notebook for my placement the structure of the essay. So I wouldn't say it was easy because I still had to do a lot of readings to get my evidence, but it was satisfying because there was a narrative in my head that I can follow and kind of make my life a little bit easier with this first historical essay. So I finished that on Thursday evening, about 1 hour before the due date. So I submitted that, and on Friday I went to placement. I came home and I was supposed to be working on my third and last essay, but the entirety of the week just hit me. I was functioning on adrenaline, I think, for the entire week, and so it finally hits me just how hard I have been working and studying, and I just sort of collapse on bed and sleep for 6 hours. So I woke up at about 10 p.m. and basically sort of chill, you know. Rot is the verb that I use. Scrolling on Instagram, watching YouTube videos, playing games, and then this morning was when I was supposed to start on my third history essay, and that is for my film and history unit. And the question was, André Bazin state that neorealism is the cinema of redeemed humanity and an artistic expression of Italy's liberation from fascism. But was Italy truly redeemed from fascism? My argument is basically no, it was not truly redeemed, because there was a lot of societal factors that continued from the fascist period into their democracy. And despite neorealist cinema trying to make them forget about their fascist past and kind of portray them as not the victor but as like a resistant fighter, it reconstruct the true reality of their past, and so they never fully confronted with their fascist past and therefore didn't take accountability. So for the second part of the question, were they truly redeemed? No. But was neorealism still a huge and influential part of Italy's liberation? Yes. it was. And I think I just took the wrong way, so back here I go. Saturday and Sunday, today and tomorrow, was supposed to be my time to crack on that. I woke up, spent about maybe an hour and a half working before I just completely shut down. I was procrastinating for about 2 hours after lunch, and that is why I am here right now, walking on this wet, muddy path because it was hailing yesterday. I hope that by the time I get home, I'm gonna feel more refreshed. I feel refreshed now as I'm walking and talking with you. I hope I haven't bored you, Jazzy. I probably have. You're probably not even listening. You're already tuned out, probably like 3 minutes in. Not that you've been watching my video anyway. But again, you've been busy, I've been busy, so no blame here, no judgment here. I will see you when I see you, Jazz.